Hi, I'm Kris Allen. I'm a saxophonist and a senior teaching artist here at the Litchfield Jazz Camp. I'm here with Wyatt Crosby, one of our brilliant students and RAs, and we're going to just share with you really briefly an exercise that's been really helpful to me and a lot of my students. This particular exercise is really on my mind because of a person, the great pianist, composer, bandleader Hal Galper, who unfortunately just passed away a few days ago. And he's been really on my mind. He's somebody who I had the fortune of working with when I was studying for a graduate degree at SUNY Purchase Conservatory. That was about 20 years ago. But the time I spent with Hal Galper there was really eye-opening. He had a lot of very creative ideas about playing and things I still use in my teaching. So this is going to be a lesson from him, shared through me. And also, but he's really, in this exercise, he's really passing on wisdom that goes back to some of the progenitors of this music, and I'm speaking of Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker. So the concept of the idea, or what we're going for here, Hal wanted us, his students and everybody, and himself to think about rhythms first, right? As in, when we're about to improvise, and we're going to play an idea, the brain, we're making so many decisions in that split second, maybe hundreds of decisions, and maybe most of those decisions are made for us by our habit, but a few of them are conscious. What notes we're going to play, how loud, how fast, how slow, and rhythm. And I think what Hal was trying to say, and what I'm saying to you now, is that it's easy for us to get way too hung up on the notes, to utilize almost all of that little millisecond of time up on deciding what are the appropriate notes, or what are the hippest notes. And that's important. Obviously, note choice and harmony is important, but rhythm needs to be primary. Actually, it's very hard to separate them and to talk about them as distinct things, but that's for another talk. So Hal, through personal experience, he actually played, I think, just for a little while with Dizzy Gillespie, maybe just a week, but also through some really interesting writing, some interviews with Dizzy Gillespie conducted by his pianist at the time, another great musician, Mike Longo. Dizzy kind of went into his theory of rhythms first and sort of an order of operations with his thinking. And so Dizzy Gillespie said that to him, an idea was first and foremost a pure rhythm, and then secondarily, it was a shape. It had a contour. It used the register in a certain kind of way, and maybe accents and dynamics fit into there. So it's a rhythm, and then it's a shape, and then only then does that thing that already has a lot to it acquire notes. Think of it as like your basic idea is this rhythm and shape, and then it just gets viewed through the prism of whatever harmony happens to be, going on at the moment. And so, Hal was looking for all these ways to help us change our thinking and think rhythms first. And this one exercise is a really simple idea. He basically asked us to take the rhythm of one melody, something dense, usually a bebop composition by Charlie Parker, and use that rhythm to improvise over the changes of another tune. So you're not making any decisions about rhythm. The melody that you learned is doing that for you. So I'm going to demonstrate that just a little bit. We're going to play, I'm going to improvise over the chord progression of It Could Happen to You, but I'm using the rhythm of Charlie Parker's Billy's Bounce. Okay? 1, 2, I would say in particular, the blues melodies written by Charlie Parker, Billy's Bounce, Au Pravov, these are very common that a lot of people know, but think Bigfoot, think Cheryl, Relaxing at Camarillo. There's actually 20-something, I believe, blues melodies written by Charlie Parker, not to be confused by bird blues, which that's a term that we use for a certain set of harmony. But these melodies are little gems of rhythmic etudes, and they constantly spin over and never quite settle. And there's something really great about, and really interesting about playing a 12-bar rhythm over a form that's in 8-bar sections. It leads you into very unfamiliar and interesting phrasing that you might not have gotten to otherwise. And so I've really enjoyed practicing that. Now, you might say, that's all well and good, but that's really, really difficult to just plunge in there and say, I'm going to take this rhythm, I'm going to use it over these chord changes. It is very difficult. And so part of the work is imagining stepping stones to get there. Like, if I was working on this for the first time, I might just clap it first. Play it on one note. Play it on random notes. That's actually deceptively difficult for me, honestly. Or I could just take one little phrase and just start with just that. Let's play. It can happen to you again. 1, 2, 3. That could be another gradual way to get into that. But I think this is a really rewarding path of practice, this idea of rhythms first. Rhythm is, at the end of the day, more infinite, more flexible. It's a richer environment with opportunities for interacting with other musicians. And I think it's true to how Dizzy Gillespie, in his own words, and Charlie Parker, these gentlemen, were actually thinking and prioritizing the music. So, hope you enjoy working on that. Have fun with that. Work hard, be patient with yourself. And see you next time. Bye.